So your husband watches porn. Ladies, I am on your side. This is not a judgmental thing at all. Of anybody, I completely empathize for any marriage, any individual who is struggling with heavy porn addiction. And so let's break the shame. Let's break the silence. I'm here to just talk to you about it and give you some suggestions and maybe some things to consider. So first of all, we should not be surprised that our men are struggling with pornography. Some of the conversations, not necessarily scientific data, but in the recovery circles, the men themselves will say 99% of men are struggling with porn and 1% are lying about it. So let's just say that this is very common. And how in the world can it not be, with the amount of just softcore porn images that are being thrown at all of us every single day? How is a man, especially men, I know women have porn addiction issues too. I'm not talking about that in this video. I'm only talking about our husbands having addictions to porn. But how are they not supposed to click when they're just being bombarded all the time with ads and pop-ups, emails? I mean, it's on everything. Like you're looking at a Facebook post about shoes, and then the next ad right there is about lingerie. And same on YouTube. YouTube is terrible for that. And it doesn't seem to matter how much you change your ad preferences. It's always popping up. So it really is a battle, you guys. So I just want you to know there's no judgment here. We just need to talk about it. And what I'm concerned about for your marriage, and some things that you need to know about pornography, because people seem to get very defensive about porn addictions. A lot of people think that if you're anti-porn, either you're anti-sex or you are a prude and you want to just keep things, you know, kind of the old-fashioned way. And that's just not the case with all the research, tons of data that has come out on the harms of porn and how it is destroying lives, marriages, and families. So I'm going to just highlight 3 things that you need to know if your husband is struggling with pornography. So porn affects the brain just like any chemical drug. In fact, scientists have studied the brain on porn and the brain on cocaine, and it's the exact same picture. It has the same impact. With addictions, as we know, it escalates, it snowballs, it's never enough. So if you start with, you know, kind of let's say softcore porn, over time your brain and your body will adapt, and this no longer will have any physical impact on you or dopamine rush. So then you have to go to this much porn and then to this much porn. And I'm talking about, like, this represents not just content and the amount and the time, but also in terms of the graphicness of it. So many men find themselves watching stuff that used to horrify and completely repel them, and now that's the only thing that will give them an erection. I mean, really, that's what they're going for, right? And so it is an escalating drug, so you need to know that. And ultimately, for all those who are heavily addicted in pornography, where does it end? There is no bottom. It will often lead to either feeling like they have to go purchase a person to use because they want to act out what they're seeing. And most wives will not tolerate what people forced in pornography are forced to tolerate. And so these men go seek out a prostituted woman to act out what they have been watching. So that's one place that will escalate to. The second place it will escalate to is CSAM, child sexual abuse material. Talk to anybody who has gotten heavily involved in child abuse material. They never intended to go there. It is a slippery slope, and we know people, many people, who have found themselves down at that pit, and it started with a softcore porn image, and it escalates, especially with no one to talk to and in the dark. So you need to know that it escalates. My second concern for you, if your husband is viewing pornography, is that you cannot keep porn in a box. You can't just watch it and be unaffected. It will seep into your marriage and into your bedroom without a doubt. And that's like one of the number 1 clues that your husband's watching pornography. if he is, if there's no intimacy, if maybe he can't even get an erection because normal lovemaking with one person no longer is exciting for men who are heavily addicted. And so they have a hard time connecting, taking time. It's never mutual. There's never consent in pornography. That's going to come into your bedroom. And of course, it's going to affect the marriage. It's going to affect your self-esteem, and it's going to affect your ability to trust. So it's a big deal. And again, it doesn't stay at the bedroom door. It's going to come in. And so if you're feeling that, you need to get counseling yourself, and then start to look at some hardcore facts, right? Third thing I want to talk about is porn is violence against women. It teaches misogyny. It teaches a severe hatred of women and girls. All the porn videos are so hateful, racist, degrading. The purpose of these videos is to debase and humiliate these individuals that are on the screen. They're never referred to as a woman, as a person. They're only referred to as horrible names of body parts. And that shapes the viewer's brain and perception of women, of sex, of intimacy, of the world. It will change their worldview. You do not want your husband being influenced and being educated by that. I'm not even talking about children at this point. I've done other videos talking about what happens to kids who are exposed to this stuff. But you don't want your husband to parent from that place where he just sees women as these, like, I didn't want to say it, it's so bad, but just objects to be penetrated. That is what porn teaches. And so viewers are not unaffected. So I have just put a link on my website for help for you if your marriage and your relationship is being impacted by pornography. There is help. So many men have overcome this issue. So many men are clean and sober years later. So many men are leading this battle bravely, boldly, without shame. It's a wonderful place to be, but you got to start somewhere. You got to start with one conversation. So be aware, women, be looking for clues. Trust your gut instinct. If something is off, first go get counseling, do some research, and then maybe you need to set a time where you ask your husband. Or if it's really bad, you need to check his history. Do it. There should be no passwords between husband and wife. You should have full access to everything on his device and vice versa. So I am for you guys. Good luck.